From then on, I made food to deliver to Levi. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Depending on the day, I also brought him snacks. Back when I lived at the tower, I often cooked extremely simple things, but now I tried my best to make something proper. Fortunately, or perhaps annoyingly so, Levi didn't hide his dissatisfaction or preferences. It made the job worthwhile. I wanted him to say he liked it, and it made me happy to know that he did. While Levi ate the meals I brought, I was always by his side. Though we were separated by the bars, I could touch him if I reached out. We talked about many things. They were mostly ordinary things, like what we wrote about in our letters. Levi responded immediately and smiled at whatever I said. We would probably talk about the same things in the living room of the manor, too. Yes, it was like spending our daily lives together. I was late to the jail that night. One of the reasons was because I made soup that took extra time to simmer. Levi complained before that he wouldn't eat it unless the vegetables were completely cooked through. The other reason was that there was a snowstorm in the evening. The visibility was bad and it was hard to walk through it. On top of that, it made the soup colder faster. I cursed the snow, but managed to arrive at the jail.
Huh? You're here today?
What a terrible thing to say to me first thing. Did he not know what I went through to get here? I glared at him to show my irritation, and Levi nervously tried to explain.
You know, it's been snowing hard today. The guard on patrol said that no one would be walking around in this weather.
It was snowing hard, but I didn't think it was that bad. I laid down his food and climbed up the stairs to see. You're right. It's one of the worst snowstorms in the year.
And you walked through it?
Well, I didn't want the food to go to waste. I can't believe I didn't notice at all.
Thanks, though. I was prepared to go without food, so this makes me really happy.
I was glad to hear that. I put my cooking on a tray and handed it through an opening in the bars.
It's still warm. Well, time to eat.
Go right ahead.
Whoa!
What's the matter?
I don't know how to say it, but the potato just melted in my mouth.
It takes a long time and effort to simmer the soup until it gets that way.
You're amazing. And the taste is good, too.
You seemed to enjoy my cooking today. That was good. Even while Levi was eating, the snow seemed to get heavier. I was starting to hear the howling winds, too.
Is there a blizzard going on outside?
I don't think I can get back with the weather like this.
Jeez, that's what you get for forcing your way here. What are you going to do now?
I'll just stay over tonight.
Stay over? We're in jail!
It's fine. I was in here for a few days before.
Oh, that's right.
I'll just sleep on the stone staircase. Fortunately, there was a pile of straw. Nice. So I laid some in front of the bars. I didn't want to lay directly over the stone floors.
Do you feel cold?
I'm fine. Levi also lay down. Though we were parted by the bars, he lay down right next to me. Of course he did. If you guys hold hands through the bars, I am going to ascend out of my seat and fly off into the night. I'll just let you know now. I'll just be like, whee! How long has it been since we slept next to each other like this?
Beats me. Not since we were kids. So, more than 10 years.
I see. We talked a bit more, and then I closed my eyes. The sounds coming from the wind settled enough for me to hear Levi breathing. A slight feeling of loneliness made me reach my hand out to him. Before I went past the bars, my hand touched something. It then softly held my hand. Levi was thinking the same thing! Alright, I'm ascending out into the world. Goodbye, everyone! Yes! Yay! I love that. I don't suppose you're gonna show it to me. That would make it just even better.
See? I knew it. Your hand is ice cold.
That's not true.
It's cold, but warm.
What are you talking about?
You're always so warm.
I opened my eyes and looked at Levi. He was also looking at me with a gentle smile.
Ever since I was put in here, I've been thinking.
About what?
I wondered when I fell in love with you.
I want to know too.
You know, I've forgotten all about it, but I finally remember. It was something really simple. I think we held hands like this back then.
Back then? Levi mumbled. I looked at him to urge him to continue. He didn't have to worry. I would never be afraid of or reject Levi.
It's about the time I got used to killing people.
Yeah.
Back then, I just wanted to kill. I just wanted Mother to praise me. But it started to hurt. While I was washing away the blood with ice-cold water, I feared that I was going to fall deeper into insanity. And that's when you held my cold and dirty hands.
Levi was right about it being simple. That didn't sound memorable to me one bit. Well, that was his note in the interlude. Interesting. So that's when he fell in love with her. I never gave a second thought to holding his hand. And if he was cold, that was all the more reason to hold it.
Ever since then, you felt so warm, and that made me happy. Starting from there, I liked you more and more.
Even though you didn't know I was a woman?
I liked you as a human being.
Aww.
A part of me knew that it was alright to like you.
I see.
It really was something small. But I guess that's all that's needed to fall in love.
It was a gentle declaration of love, it really was. Because he said it with an open heart, his feelings went directly into me. Though Levi committed crimes, he was afraid of hurting himself and being hated. I knew that feeling better than anyone. We might be similar.
Yeah?
I've hidden the fact I was a witch ever since I was little. I didn't want to be hated for it. Not by Francisca, Levon, and of course you.
If I took your hand then, maybe you would have fallen for me.
I don't know about that.
Why?
We both giggled in the dark jail. After we finished laughing, Levi spoke, his face serious.
I'm probably going to be executed.
That froze my expression.
Considering what I did, it's only fair.
But I would have been convinced if it happened to someone else, that it couldn't be helped, but not with him. I had these selfish thoughts that I didn't want the same to happen to him. Why do you think that?
I get that feeling, seeing how Levon's been acting. And how he let me see you like this, too.
That's right. I tried to remember Levon's expressions over the past few days. This was for Levi's sake before his execution. Yeah. Levon did this because I would never see Levi again. I don't want that.
It can't be helped.
You saved me. You declared yourself the culprit in front of everyone to save me.
Of course I did. You did nothing wrong. It's all my fault.
He said that so matter-of-factly. Was Levi already prepared to die? I couldn't say the same about myself. I didn't want him to die. Although he had to atone for his crimes, I wanted him to stay alive. Everyone called me a witch.
Yeah.
But thanks to you, that misunderstanding is gone. Little by little, people have stopped fearing me.
I see. Good for you.
So, if you stay alive, I'm sure everyone will also. Levi let out a weak smile. I knew why. There was a definitive difference between Levi and me. But one day he might be forgiven, even if it was by only a few. But if he was dead...
Thanks.
I didn't know how to act when he thanked me. I hadn't done anything. I couldn't do anything.
Just what if... If I were to be forgiven?
Yeah?
I want to live with you. Just the two of us.
Levi started talking about a bright future. Yes. Let's talk about that for now. Levon's not with us?
He's fine and all, but I'm tired of him always being there.
Fair, man. He's like, nah, I'm not doing what my brother did where we all like 3 live together and stuff. I want him out of there. Oh, that's great. That's a terrible thing to say.
So, if we start living together, I want to get strong enough so I can protect you.
You're plenty strong, Levi.
Not yet. I want to become strong in the truer sense of the word. The strength to protect, not to take lives.
You already protected me. Thanks to you, I can walk around town without fearing for my life. Levi was strong. And kind. It would be fun if we could live together.
Yeah, I won't let you get bored.
You accepted it so easily when I told you I was a witch.
Huh?
That's not all. You didn't seem to care when you found out I was a woman, too. You were actually happy about it.
Did I say that?
Yes, you did. I remember it clearly.
I'd better watch my mouth around you.
I'm glad you said it. You saw the real me and told me the truth. If I didn't have someone like that in my life, I'd be sad. I couldn't do this. I tried to keep it a happy topic, but it went back to this.
Hey, Judd.
I can't believe that you'll be gone. I don't want you to be gone, Levi. Tears fell. We had been together for as long as I could remember. I couldn't imagine him not being around. Levi would be gone. The thought of that struck fear into me. I didn't think it would be such a sad thing.
What a confession that is.
Levi wiped away my tears with his other hand. He then placed it on my cheek. Oh, man. I love everything about this scene. My heart's breaking.
We're so close, and I can't even kiss you.
The bars were just wide enough to have a hand go through. This fence of iron that smelled of rust separated us. Though we could come close, we could never be together. He pulled in my hand and kissed the back of it, as if it was the most he could do in that moment.
I love you.
No other words were needed. Levi's warm hand enveloped my fingertips. Aww. Cuties. I know why they erase, like, the bars so that you can actually see her face and stuff, but it makes for a weird angle because of it, but I'm not upset about it because these two are the cutest and deserve the world. And also I deserve to figure out how to do things. There we go.
If I can live with you, we might become husband and wife eventually.
He started to talk about the future again. A bright one, filled with hope. One that would never come. You and me?
And we'd have lots of kids.
That would be a whole lot of trouble. Levi, you're like a big child too.
Shut up. I'll grow up once I become a parent.
Didn't work for your dad. But it's okay. Sorry. I know you'd make a kind father.
I know, right? Once I get a kid, I teach them to read lots of books.
Books? Not teaching them the sword?
That's important too. But when I was a kid, Mother never did that for me. I want to do for my kids what I wanted done for myself.
Oh, my heart. I see. I guess it would be fun.
Don't guess. It will be fun.
The night was getting late, but Levi continued talking about future dreams so happily. His dream was not a grand one. It was of a humble family with the two of us together. In the midst of this happy feeling, I gradually grew sleepier. My eyelids felt heavy and I couldn't keep them open. Levi gently patted my head. Soon I fell asleep. In my dreams, I lived with him and our children. Levi's dream became my dream. Oh, I am so close to crying. Good grief. It's so sad. Whew. Okay, we can get through this.
You fall asleep? Well, so long. I hope I can see you again one day.
I woke up to pain. It must have been because I slept on the stone floor. It was already morning. The sky outside the jail was brightening and the blizzard had subsided. Our connected hands were untwined. I looked through the bars and saw an object wrapped up like a cocoon. Speaking of which, Levi tossed and turned a lot in his sleep. He often kicked me out of bed when we were kids. I laughed to myself and stood up carefully to make sure I didn't wake him. I stayed out without telling Levon, so I had to go back at least once. That, and I needed to make breakfast for this caterpillar. So cute! Oh, my heart. I exited the jail and walked quickly back to the manor. I counted the remaining ingredients in my head to think of what to make. I could only put together something simple for breakfast. Whatever, I'd just make something nicer for lunch and dinner for him.
You're up early.
Whoa! Levon! I opened the door and saw the Lord of the Manor in front of me. Was he waiting for me to come back? He always is. I'm back. Sorry about yesterday.
I know. You didn't have a choice with the blizzard. It must have been harsh.
Yeah. He didn't seem mad, but Levon didn't say any more. An awkward silence came over us. I have to go make Levi's breakfast.
There's no need for that.
Huh? He spoke those words coldly. Despite those words, Levon's expression was filled with pain. No. A sudden chill hits me. But I forced out a few words to confirm what Levon said. Why?
Because the punishment will take place. By now, he's...
By now? What did he mean by now? Levi wasn't alive anymore? My vision blurred. My entire body shook and I felt weak at the knees. I couldn't stay standing anymore. As I fell, Levon rushed over to help me up.
Capital punishment was averted.
Huh? Then Levi is... He was alive. The slight glimmer of hope shone in my eyes. Then what was Levi's punishment?
Exile.
Exile? To where? Levon turned away. There was no way he didn't know. He just didn't want to say. If you were exiled, where could you go? Outside the town? That's impossible. This town was a closed world. Then the forest? He could go deeper into the forest past the tower. Maybe he could live there? But how? You couldn't escape the elements, and there was no way to get food there. No, but if someone delivered it...
Anyone who aids him will receive the same punishment.
But... It's no different from telling Levi to die. They wouldn't kill him immediately. They wouldn't dirty their hands, but they wanted him to die. Slowly. Alone. Ugh! There might still be time. I might still be able to see Levi. Seeing me about to run out the manor, Levon grabbed my arm.
Don't!
Let go! Let me go!
What are you going to do there?
You'll just be exiled yourself!
But still!
Levi understands this. He already knew that he would be exiled today.
Huh? That had to be a lie. He said he thought he would be executed, but his expression was so gentle. There was no way that he knew. He knew? And didn't tell me?
He didn't tell you for a reason. You have to respect his decision.
Why?
He wished only to speak to you one last time. I'm sure he just wanted to spend some time with you in peace.
He held my arm even tighter. It hurt. Pain and helplessness overcame me. I knew Levon felt pain because this was all he could do. But Levon, I'm sorry!
Jed!
I shook off his hand and ran outside the manor. Snow was beginning to fall from the sky, so soon after such a harsh blizzard last night. Where was Levi? He was still in the jail cell this morning. No, maybe I only saw something rolled up in sheets. Could it be that he was already gone then? I had no other leads. I had to go to the jail first. I went to the place where Levi and I last spoke. Go find your boy, girl. The jail cell looked identical to this morning. The bars were still closed, and it was made to appear like there was someone in the sheets. Levi? I knew it would be meaningless, but I called out to it. No movement. I dropped to my knees. There was one thing that was different from this morning. Or perhaps I just didn't notice. There was a piece of folded paper stuck between the doors of the cell. It was the same paper as the letters Levi wrote to me. I carefully took out the paper so as to not tear it. My fingers trembled as I tried to unfold the letter. Written inside the paper were only a few words.
Sorry. Thank you.
That was it. Just a few words that couldn't even be called a letter. They were in the neat handwriting I was used to seeing. I couldn't help but admit that it was from him. You idiot. Why was I crying from only these words? I gripped the letter so tightly that it crumpled. Overcome by pain and helplessness, I slammed my fists against the bars. The very bars that separated Levi and me. A loud noise reverberated through the cells. I stood up and wiped my tears with my hands still tightly clenched in a fist. Levi, you jerk! I started running as it continued to snow. Ah, the field. The white snow danced in the sky, but even brighter than that was the field of snowdrop flowers. And buried in the flowers, Levi lay there facing the sky, as if he didn't feel the cold. He simply looked up at the sky blankly, as if he lost something in his heart. He was let out of the cell early in the morning before the sun rose and chased into the forest. After walking for a while, he arrived at the snowdrop field and did this. For hours. The wind blew. The snowdrop petals danced in the breeze.
I'd better go soon.
He got up without patting off the snow or petals stuck on him. He took one step and... Question marks? Levi! He heard a voice. The voice he yearned for. The voice he shouldn't be able to hear. The voice he shouldn't be allowed to hear. He turned around and saw her.
Jed!
I didn't know to search for the snowdrop field in the forest. I ran blindly through the trees and arrived at the place Levi was. I made it in time. I got to see him again. I had stopped briefly but quickly resumed running to close the distance. Levi didn't move. I crashed into him with full force. Levi!
Whoa! Jed! Why are you...
Idiot! Idiot!
Who's the idiot here? Why'd you come?
Levi's voice was shaking. My voice was teary. I had to tell him. I'm going with you, Levi. I've made up my mind.
Going with me? There's nowhere to go.
I know.
I only want you to stay alive.
I'm sorry, but only I decide where I go and with whom.
Why does it have to be me?
Because I love you.
Oh,
Being with you is fun. We talk about random things. We can be sarcastic to each other. Those small things were the start of everything for me. Of my falling in love with Levi.
and that's when you held my cold and dirty hands. It really was something small. But I guess that's all that's needed to fall in love.
I took Levi's cold and frozen hands. Levi said he fell in love with me during some small event I didn't even remember. But I was the same. The feelings I had now were true, and only came to be from the many small things I experienced myself.
Are you sure?
Yes. I want to be with you, Levi. Until the very end.
Thank you.
Aww. Beautiful. Now kiss, you two. Levi finally embraced me after all this time. He held me tight with his cold, frostbit arms. In that case, I would warm him up. I wanted to share my heat with him. From now on as well in this unending winter. There might not be anything up ahead. The end might come immediately. But even so, I wanted to smile to the end. I wanted to be by his side at that moment.
Thank you, Jed.
Covered in white frost, we embraced each other with our shivering bodies. Surrounded by these fantastical white flowers, forever and ever. Is that how that ends? Ah, that's how that ends! Dang! Ooh! Gosh. That was such a sad, bittersweet ending. Also, not fair that my boy Levi doesn't get to smooch this girl. What the heck, game? How dare you? Their love is so pure. How could you not have given this boy a kiss with her? But that's just because I love my kiss CGs, alright? I will say I buy the romance between him and Jed way more than I did with her and Levon. Sorry, Levon. I know you got it bad for this girl, but she just like so easily confessed to him and was like, there was no dilly-dallying on her part, no dithering, no like, do I? What do I feel exactly? I should talk to dad-in-law. Like, she just was like, no, I love him. I really do. I'm like, oh, man. But at the same time, I'm like, they're just lying in a field of flowers. You gotta, like, write up in your head, like, okay, they survived somehow out there. I was really hoping that they were going to just go to the tower, because nobody else goes to the tower. And they were just gonna live with Dad. That would have been great. You know what? That's gonna be my headcanon. They eventually just make it from there to the tower, because everyone just leaves that tower alone. And they live with Dad, and Dad gets to become a granddad to his kids. Yeah. That's my headcanon. That's how it ends for the two of them. I liked the more completeness of Levon's ending, but I liked the romance more in Levi's. Ugh, I'm so conflicted right now. I don't know which one I like more. Town of Sinners. Unlocked Levi's ending. Damn. Hey, there's our boy. Where he should be. Front and center. Alright, well guys, that was Levi's ending. I hope you enjoyed it. I really did. It made me sad. It gave me all kinds of feels. I was actually kind of having Hakuoki feels with... I can't even remember his name. Was it... it started with a K. I can't... I'll have to try to figure out what his name was. But the guy who, like, took over for the Shinsengumi at the end, like, that guy's route. I was getting, like, those feels back here with Levi. So, it was kind of nice to have those feels again. Yeah, it was a beautiful ending. I'm just like, oh man, didn't get my beautiful kiss, and I'm left open-ended. But I really did like it. So, yeah. Anyway, we're done with Ashen Hawk again for the time being, which means it's time to go back to Taisho Alice, and it's Red's turn, so I'm sure shenanigans will be involved. Hopefully I'll see you over there for that. Until then, I will see you later.